So, hi, David. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Mukesh. Good afternoon. I'm fine.
Great. Fantastic to see you. And I hope everything has been fine with you, your family during the lockdowns and, when we had this coronavirus in Shanghai.
Yeah, actually, well, fortunately, we have been very safe. We have been in Shanghai for the whole time. So we have been observing the world and keeping busy. It was actually a very, very busy period of time, especially from the psychological point of view. So yeah, it was uh, a crazy period of time, I would say, but very busy as well.
And you are a psychologist. So, you are a psychologist. So, that's why
Yeah.
probably, and I read some of your articles which you were writing. They were very helpful.
Yeah, yeah, I've been writing a lot of articles about mental health care and how to overcome this period of time, the hardship. I have been doing a lot of interviews. I have been on television as well, on radio, several podcasts. Yeah, there was a big demand because people were curious about how these new situations would influence people and also what were the consequences for people in the present, but also in the future, how they would overcome this and if there would be any long-term traces in mental health.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the whole world is going through toughness, and this requires a lot of maintenance of your own psychology.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, there's a lot of studies happening right now about people's well-being, but surely the trend is quite tough. There's much more psychological distress, anxiety, depression, loneliness, but also in couples, families have been under lockdown, which is putting all the issues of the family or the couple under a magnifying glass. So sometimes it really has certain explosive consequences. We have seen more demand for divorces, for example, but also there's a lot of questions around trauma. So, what are the consequences for that in the long run? Because a lot of people have shown symptoms of early trauma situations.
Right.
So this is also something that we need to address in the future.
Right, right. And absolutely, totally agree. And as you know that our Tedxtianshanpark was supposed to happen on 29th of February. We delayed it to 18th of April,
Yeah,
but still we are not able to get the permissions from the local authorities here to host it. And I think that we have been working with the WeWork to help us to agree for a date. So we believe we can do it in June. So when 6 months ago, David, you know that we decided to do the topic serendipity. And we always associate serendipity with a happy word, but we no one imagined that we'll land up into a new
yes,
serendipity. So how do you reflect on
absolutely.
that?
Well, for me, serendipity is in the end something that depends on the interpretation that we have in our mind of a certain event. So something that actually, okay, here we're talking about the positive or the negative side of serendipity, but I would say in the end, it depends what you're making out of it. So for looking at this situation, okay, overall it has been a drama, but I have also seen a lot of people actually benefiting from this period of time because
Right.
somehow people who had already a pre-existing condition of burnout, depression, or anxiety, people who had been facing existential questions actually benefited from this time because the
Right.
whole society, everything was on pause, everything was slowing down. So actually, I have been doing a lot of very interesting work with people who previously were already in consultation with me, experiencing certain things, and then immediately it was like, oh, this time I can really take a step back, reflect on myself. Maybe I can reprioritize certain things. I was talking earlier about the hardship, but there's a lot of positive sides on in the mental health as well. Families could go come together more closely, spend more quality time together, spend
Right.
more time, reconnect with each other I would say it had really fortified the bubble of the very close people around you. So there is some benefit that we can see. In the end, it's all about what we make out of it. And
Right,
that's something that I noticed a lot with serendipity. There's so much happening around us in the world, so many information, so many situations. In the end, the serendipitous thing or moment, idea, opportunity is whatever we see in the
right,
end, is
right.
wherever we see it, or if we are actually mentally, emotionally ready to see that, to understand it and to grasp it.
Absolutely. I think you mentioned rightly that, it allowed the world to stop, slow down, reflect. So while it is a unfortunate event, but we can always look at the positive side that, this could be also serendipity. And you also mentioned rightly that, it can help people to slow down and think in the right directions. And what do you make out
Exactly.
of this event as well? I think this is a wonderful thought.
It could be hopefully. I mean, right now people are getting a little bit anxious and aggressive, but it could be a unique opportunity for mankind to redefine itself, to
Hmm.
see that we are all together on this planet and that we have to stand together to fight a global threat. And this is something that we can, for example, think about for future sustainable development questions,
Right.
environmental catastrophes, or other pandemics in the future. I mean, there might be future catastrophes that might have a global effect on the whole world. And it's probably not the last time this kind of thing is going to happen. So
Absolutely.
this is a learning experience for all humankind to see how we can do better next time.
Absolutely. And so David, you have chosen the topic to talk about how to outsmart yourself to meet success as a part of the serendipity part. And now, because
Yeah.
people after this, when all this gets over in next couple of months, wishfully, then people will be trying to succeed more because everything is in a slowdown period. So, what do
Yeah.
you want? I don't want you to give your speech out. That is reserved for our event, but I just want you to probably
Totally.
highlight one or two things quickly for the audiences.
Uh, my speech will help people to be ready for whenever there is some opportunity,
Mhm.
something, some innovation, some new idea, some newity, something that shows up in their vision, in their perceptual field, that they see it and that they grasp the opportunity, that they are ready to get it.
Right.
And this is something that my speech will help people to see the new opportunities, to understand them, to feel emotionally ready, and to go for it.
Excellent. So it means then we can really looking forward for the time when it comes closer. I'm in talks with the TED teams to see now when we can organize it, safely. Safety is the first thing before we
Yeah,
gather all the people.
absolutely
and
true.
uh, and we
Yeah.
look forward for a wonderful speech of yours where people can be emotionally ready for this unfortunate event, but allowing us to utilize this serendipity for the better.
Yeah, hopefully it will help people to gain more success and be better in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, David, for talking, and look forward to see you
Thank you,
soon.
Mukesh.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Fine, David. So I think I'll stop here the recording here just to check
Yeah,
that everything has gone
totally.
right.